says that we're live. And so we truly must be. No. Okay. Yeah, but you feel that, like, about everything. Hi, everyone. And by everyone, I am speaking directly to people in the future because no one has joined the live stream yet. I'm Tom.
I'm Galen.
And we are here today just to chill and to sniff some cat-themed perfumes.
What could be more chill than that?
Yeah. There is, for anyone joining us live right now, today, I want to reassure you and say that yes, today is election day. Yes, this is an inescapable fact of what, oh my God, I said that and a dog howled outside. But I wanted to basically come forward and say that we are not here talking about election day today. Like, it's just happening and it's everywhere and everyone is dealing with it. But we wanted to just kind of like show up and do an informal chat about some perfumes that the lab released a while back and hasn't gotten to catch up with. And I thought, like, what if we just hung out for a while and smelled some perfumes and like didn't talk about it? We've said our piece elsewhere. We're all barraged with messages. We've done individually what we are each capable of.
My shoulder has like 8 knots
Yeah.
in it that I can't untie.
Do you want to use the massager?
No,
While we're filming?
Focus on what I'm doing.
Right. What are we doing? So, so we're gonna smell fragrances from the lab's collection, Felis Silvestris Catus, which
Gesundheit.
yes, that is a collection of perfumes inspired by cats in fine art, and they're all just sort of paintings of cats from various people, various times, various countries, whatever. And then Beth has done her synesthesia thing, which we do for the monthly fine art sense, and applied it to these cat perfumes because we knew people would love them. So love them, they seem to. I've been seeing lots of reviews for them and evidence of people loving and enjoying them. And so it's just kind of one of those fun things that just exists purely for fun. Remember fun?
Ironically, Elizabeth is allergic to cats.
Elizabeth is very allergic to cats.
She can nail a cat scent.
Yeah, she doesn't have a problem with cats. What's fun about these two is they are not like cat scents. They don't smell like cat. Like some of them might have a fur musk or something, but it's not like this is like a civet heavy collection, or it's really just about the scene and the style and the character, and that's it. And a lot of them are soft and cuddly. Some of them are less soft and cuddly, but like ultimately we knew that these fragrances are for cat lovers, and I think it's like the spirit of animal companionship, and just what a lovely thing that is. So what a nice thought to sit and dwell with during a difficult time. So I figured that during challenging moments when the online anxiety and the real life anxiety have merged to become an inescapable dome of atmospheric anxiety, a lot of people I know turn to fragrance as a comfort. We do that.
Sure.
So we just figured cats it is. So this was a collection that was launched, God, was it last year or and then we expanded it more recently. So I figured maybe we would start with the 4 recent additions to the Felis Silvestris Catus collection, and then with whatever stamina we have, we could work backward and like poke around in the it's kind of big. It's bigger than we could do. The whole collection is bigger than we could do in one video. We saw the limits of Galen's physical stamina in the last video when he became so hungry that we could practically proceed no further. And I want you to know that, like, we're not, we just can't max out our physical limits
Sometimes when you really overactivate one of your senses, the other senses start, they're like, I need something too.
I need a nap. Also, I mean, this is like for you even more than me. This is difficult, and difficulty requires effort, and effort zaps you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can go longer. I know what my limits are. I've got mainly all of this is set up to my comfort level because I was doing this without you, whether or not you were doing it for the live stream stuff. So for you to join is great, but I really do want to respect your limits as well as everyone else's patience. But then again, I figured today that if they're watching us sit and talk and smell about cat perfumes, then maybe they're not actively freaking out or reading stuff or whatever. And if you are somehow managing to watch this while doom scrolling, just stop it.
One thing at a time.
Just
focus on the good.
Stop it.
Like, trying to entertain you.
Because let me tell you, at this current stage, you're not going to read anything conclusive. If you're looking for bad news, you're going to find it. If you're looking for good news, it might be there, but it's not meaningful at this stage. So I figured let's just like kind of create a safe little cul-de-sac. It's like in the NASCAR, they have the pit crew thing where the cars have to do a mandatory pit stop and get recharged and everything. This is all news to you.
NASCAR.
Right.
What?
There are no safe cultural touchstones that we can draw from in terms of escaping.
That sounds violently straight to me.
Election season. But so deep breaths, everyone at home. If you're watching this in the future, you may know more about what will be happening to us than we currently know. Those of you watching this video for the first time later on, you're just going to be like, oh, how quaint. They didn't know. They didn't know. But for now, we're really today kind of catering to the folks live watching now and also watching throughout the next day or so as everything unfolds. Just like the collective, I was going to say silent scream, but who's even really holding it in anymore? Certainly not disco.
There's no need to be silent.
And yet, what does a scream accomplish right now except for just the thrill of having screamt it? So,
let's dive in.
Let's dive in. We've reached about the 8-minute mark, which is enough of a warm-up, I think. So let's see if we're doing these somewhat alphabetically based on the new ones. We got cats and sparrows will be first. So cats and sparrows.
Go together.
Oh, wait
like
a second.
Cats and sparrows.
We are missing one.
No.
Yeah, because we don't have black cat with tomato plants. Is that in here? Did you see it?
No, that's not it.
That's one of the newer ones though. This one.
I understand.
Did we give it to somebody? Sometimes that happens.
I understand what you're saying. I'll look over here and
yeah. I know that we
aside?
had it, and I know because when we filmed the little teaser with the puppet, well, I'll do a little puppet show while you're poking around for a minute, because we got this amazing new addition. We do have it. We have had it.
I have it. Perhaps we do not currently have.
So we did a little video recently, and I hope to do more to promote the cat sense. This is like a 1960s Pelham Puppets kitten puppet. Did we strike out on the first one we're supposed to smell today?
Yes.
Oh, did we look in the dollhouse? Can I go look real quick? Just in case it's over there. Because I did have it over there at one point. Galen, you're live. Go. Make good TV. Be live. I'll just start humming tunelessly otherwise. Everyone loves that. It's basically like being on the bus with two people who do not have their shit together.
We don't have the perfume.
Okay, well,
Just trust me.
we tried. Well, I will tell you if people are interested in black cat with tomato plants.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
I do. That's what says tomato fruit and leaf, a skritch of soil, spicy geranium petals, orange blossom, marigold, and sultry musk. And what's interesting in that is that there is enough overlap with that, with the meme rat perfume we did recently for New York Comic Con, that I smelled them side by side at New York Comic Con. And I have to say that they're very comparable in terms of being like dirty tomatoey scents, except for Meme Rat really got like wallowed more in the filth appropriately. And Black Cat with Tomato Plants was a little fresher, a little cleaner, and I think in the post about it I had mentioned that it kind of smells like a fantasy of being in the garden. The fantasy of like the dirt and the plants and the sun and everything. Whereas the Meme Rat was a little more like down and dirty, gritty realism, garden action. So at least I was able to talk knowledgeably about something that I don't have in my possession. And now we may move on to blurp. Cat. Okay, we'll do cats and sparrows because I said that. Cats and sparrows. So I don't really have a great way to show the artwork in these, but just trust that there are cats, and then also there are sparrows. And so if you have a mental picture of that, then you're halfway there. The fragrance...
You've probably seen both.
But together in one scent?
Oh my god.
Vanilla cream, tonka absolute, caramelized cedarwood, and sepia-washed amber resinoid.
Delightful.
What a great...
May I smell it?
Description. Yes. Kaylin's like...
Resinoid.
Transport me.
Amber resinoid.
It just makes me think of the Noid from the Pizza Hut commercials. And then also the sad story about why they had to ditch that mascot forever, which I won't go into now because it's not related. Look it up. This...
Did he do something wrong?
It's not the Noid's fault. I will just go ahead and say that
smells great.
To my rough memory, it's that there was a mentally ill man who believed the Noid was antagonizing him personally, and then I think that he like, did he take hostages or something? He like thought, it was like he had paranoid fantasies about the Noid, and it contributed to like a breakdown, and there was an incident, and I think the corporate ruling on that was they did not specifically remove the character because of that, but I think at that point they were like, and we're done, and then moved on to other advertising campaigns. But I think that's why there hasn't been like a revival of the Noid as a pizza villain character, because there was like controversy involving like a just threads of something darker and woodier.
Is this a problem? Are we frozen?
Oh no. It's because I have no idea how frozen we are. We're frozen on the screen.
The time seems to keep going.
Let's just pretend we're still going. We got a phone call while streaming, and my phone seems to be having a whack attack. And someone has commented to say that they have lost sound.
Oh, shit.
We can't have... Oh!
Are we here?
We can't have anything today.
Can you hear us?
Can someone please signal that we are audible?
Ah,
It
hell.
seems to have caught
Hey!
up. Okay. So what has happened is that we received a phone call from the phone that we're filming with, and my phone had a bit of a freak out. And I'm happy we didn't have to start over because, I mean, truly, for a moment I was like, it's the Noid. Like I invoked some kind of urban legend problem. So
he won't be revived, or will he, if you mention him 3 times?
Just let's change. I suggest that we change the topic.
Okay.
As Chloe Sevigny famously says, as CZ guest in Ryan Murphy's Capote versus the Swans. So, in case it was not, I was just in the middle of saying...
We're talking about the perfume.
The perfume in the bottle, Cats and Sparrows, deep, warm, caramelized vanilla amber with, I was just saying, threads of something darker.
Mm-hmm.
And then no one's calling me, so that's good. And yeah, let's get it on the skin. It
This
really reminds me
smells
this.
so good.
It's like a more scrumptious version of Tombstone, even more so because of the cedar. I think even more so than with the pumpkin one we smelled recently.
That makes sense.
Wow. I love that. Okay, so I believe that the sparrows are represented here because it's got like, you know, the painting has got fuzz and feathers. There is something, and I will dive into like a fit of aesthetic whimsy here for just a moment, if I'm allowed. There is something here in the scent that definitely takes flight. There's something that kind of like a real like lightness, which I is the it's the vanilla cream. I guess that doesn't take a.
You must have that with like disappointment. It's
I know.
The, it,
Well, I mean, it's not
vanilla,
like much
it's the
of a
vanilla
mystery,
cream.
but it really has like a beautiful like airborne like lift off. You know, something like light and airy. And then there's like a nice, sweet, warm fuzziness in the middle.
Oh, it's the tonka I'm getting now. I was like, what? There's something in here that is kind of. I was not getting that in the bottle.
There's a lot of tonka in the this category of scent in the cat scents.
And that adds a kind of like earthiness.
Like a warm fuzziness.
And a fuzziness.
And a sweetness.
Yeah.
So.
Hmm.
So, sepia-washed amber resinoid. Please welcome to the stage. It has just like the faintest woodiness of it.
Yes.
Maybe that is going to hang on longer. I saw someone just commenting to say that they really enjoyed it and it didn't, their skin absorbed it quite quickly. I'm expecting to absorb these scents a lot faster now because my skin has been drying out like crazy because of the emergence of the actual fall weather. And so it feels like everything that I put on, my skin just like drinks it up. Yeah, where this is settling into me is like, I mean, it was a really like layers and layers of caramel and vanilla, and it's settling down in a really warm, sweet, woody place. And cedar is a note that I would love to explore more because I always enjoy it in a scent, but I don't really have cedar heavy scents that I really reach for quite often.
Plus, it depends what else the cedar is blended with, you know.
This is really good evening cozy times perfume, let me tell you.
It's weird how it does smell sepia washed.
It does.
I don't know how
has
that-
a complete tone.
I don't really know what that means.
I will say that there is a nice, like, still that airborne vanilla cream quality, which is kind of like the creaminess is reminding me of almost antique lace.
Yeah.
That is more evident from further away, and then I get in closer and I get like the deeper stuff. So there are kind of layers here. Like if I was wearing this and someone walked by me, they would probably think I smelled of vanilla. And up close, what?
Do you smell of vanilla?
You smell of vanilla. Someone's asking if it's like more of a foodie vanilla or more in the amber category. I would say like in the bottle, it's definitely like a crazy foodie gourmand.
Yeah, because the vanilla and the caramel tend to be a little more forward out of the bottle, but I think on the skin, it is more amber vanilla.
It's settling into a more amber vanilla, which puts it kind of in that kind of uncanny valley, but of the amber gourmand, which we have been doing a lot of in the past couple of years.
Amber gourmand.
I really love it because I really discovered how much I love amber with, I think, florals and gourmands kind of bridging the gap and helping me figure out like what it is that the amber actually does. But it is not like a straight foodie scent. More on that soon though. So let's, what else we got? What else we got? Right next to it alphabetically, cat sleeping on an armchair, as they are wont to do.
Don't wake the cat.
Galen was, when we were getting all these out, Galen was like, there sure are a lot of these like sitting and laying on something. And I was like, you know, that is when it is easier to draw and paint a cat.
Sure, and also like cats are kind of known for the whole nap thing.
Yeah, there are some really good action shots, like with the sparrows and like the one of the cat knocking over the floral, the vase of
I just
flowers.
felt like I kept like, I was like, okay, I'm trying to find like the cat. I'm like, cat sleeping. Okay, that cat's sleeping. That cat is sleeping.
Snug corner.
Okay, these cats are, none of these cats are awake.
Right. But I think that also it was smart to pick scents like that to point people towards some of the cozier
Coziness.
blends.
Yeah. You could take a nap with this.
For example, Cat sleeping on an armchair says a cozy floof of sugared coconut. Now, what I
Great.
wonder about this is I know I'm going to get the sugar in the coconut, and by cozy floof, is there a musk note or like something that denotes the floof, the fuzz, the fur? Not listed, but it's
Implied.
possibly alluded to. And I think I tried these on once when we got the box, and I haven't really dug in because I didn't have an occasion like a historic doom-suffused election to force me to sit and breathe them deeply. Okay. Interesting.
Oh, that is so nice. I'm having a memory.
Oh, everyone, hold on.
When I was a kid, I would
Sit down.
just get I would have like I would get a bowl and I would put shredded coconut in it and I would just eat it.
Yeah.
And that's
And
that's a comfy place for me mentally.
What was your mother doing when this was happening?
Like probably cooking.
Okay, so you weren't just like...
She would supply me with the coconut.
Okay.
She would be like, "Do you want some coconut in a bowl?" And I would be like, "Absolutely."
Well, that
and I'd
definitely...
eat it and like watch The Wizard of Oz.
That makes the memory more comforting to me to hear, instead of young Galen at home sitting in a cupboard.
Don't you eat real food?
Oh no, as a kid I definitely,
coconut.
I chowed down on some shredded coconut out of the bag whenever I had a chance. I was a very sneaky, opportunistic food grabber. My mom tried to put stuff up on the high shelf in the kitchen, and that just became an exciting challenge because then I could just climb onto the counter and go poking around just to see what she hid, because like sometimes I didn't even know what was hidden. She was, it's interesting. My mom and I were in a kind of a battle of
like
wills.
a battle, yeah.
Yeah. She's trying to provide for the whole family, and I am as
trying to take from the whole
the
family.
largest nestling who would eagerly kick the younger nestlings out of the nest. This is
so good.
I will say that this is giving coconut cream to me,
Yes.
and not like dried, flaked coconut.
No, I guess I get that, but it's just like the sweetness of the. I just wear it.
It's a fleshy. There's like a fleshy, creamy coconut going on, and then it's got a bit of that sugar sparkle. It reminds me of the coconut pudding that they put in my boba tea at boba time. That's like just like a kind of a thick coconut custard situation. And then it has the kind of like, I don't know if those of you who smell a lot of bee pal will know the kind of dancing sugar crystals, like scent note. Whenever something says sugar crystals, this doesn't. It says sugared coconut. But I am getting that kind of crystalline sugar. I'm going to put some on. It kind of has a nice contrast to the mellow kind of hardiness of the coconut. Well, it's definitely on the skin. It's definitely on there. Can't say it's not. It's reminding me of, so we did a coconut tree fragrance, which, not to bring it back to the election, but that was like multiple parts of the coconut and the tree. This really is on the skin, immediately giving me more like coconut meat. There's like a chewiness. And it does have a kind of the sugariness is part of like, when it says a cozy floof, there's kind of like a cloud.
Yes.
A sweet, fluffy cloud. And then when you go deeper, it's like kind of going like deep, like into the coconut. You know, not the shredded coconut, but the dried coconut pieces that they sell at like Trader Joe's that look like giant horse toenail clippings.
Come on, that's not an association.
If you grew up anywhere around horses, you know exactly what the trimmed hooves look like. And if the long strips of dried coconut like really do look like that. I know the comments will redeem me. They may also condemn me for other reasons.
That is so nice. And so...
It's like what I think is great
Heavenly.
in the what it's suggestive of in the painting. if I can even hold it up, you're gonna be able to see all my other tabs.
Is that the white?
It's like the armchair is covered in this white, beautiful scrolling pattern. Which is funny because it actually does, now that I look at it, kind of look like a pile of dried coconut.
Yes.
In a pattern. It's like a white, leafy, garlandy pattern. And that's funny how I think aesthetically that's how I feel like a forensic psychologist in the
shredded
movies
coconut on the armchair.
studying Beth's creative output, where I'm like, tracing. I've got like my red string wall, influences, references, available scent components. It all makes sense, people. As the sugar cloud is kind of like clearing a little bit, it's just that kind of like light, warm, hearty, delicate sweetness of the coconut, which I think ultimately says. I'm not really getting anything particularly musky, to answer my own question from earlier. It truly is just a lovely sugared coconut scent with all of everything that brings.
Yeah.
So, good to know. How otherwise might we have known? Now I'm going to go to the large cat.
Uh-oh.
No, it's not a problem. It's not like a large.
Go see the large cat. He'll tell you what to do.
It's not large to an extent that
How large is this
causes
cat?
a problem. It's not like Clifford the Big Red Cat level of large cat. It seems like the cat in the painting is like relatively normal size, but very large in the frame. I think this is a composition thing. There's a mouse in the background for reference, and the mouse is kind of looking at the cat being like, damn, that's a large cat.
I feel like that's like how mice usually think.
So, do you?
That's what I think.
I really need somebody to
speak
at least,
mice?
yeah, like articulate that viewpoint, because
I think that mice look at cats and they're like, damn, that's a big cat.
you're kind of sliding off
Don't
screen.
kill me.
Have you noticed? Do you want to scoot in a little bit?
I'm sliding off of my pillows.
Yeah. Oh, look, there you go. Here you are. Welcome back. So the scent, the large cat, a deep rumbling purr.
Oh, geez.
Myrrh, sweet almond, spiced rum, brown sugar, honeyed dates, golden amber, as we were just talking about with the gourmand, scorched marshmallow, and toasted vanilla musk. So again, really intensely gourmand, but you have the myrrh as an incense note, and you've got the amber and the musk. So
Nutty, boozy, sweetie.
what'd you call me? Are you listing the dwarves?
Nutty, boozy,
in the new
sweetie, sleepy,
live action
cozy
Disney Snow White movie? Boozy. Snoozy. Okay, let's just get in there. Let's just get in there. Ah, okay.
Whoa,
What I think is so funny, right there, the almond and the rum.
Oh my god.
This is like what I honestly hope a lot of boozy, like New Orleans French Quarter cocktails will taste like. It's satisfyingly grown up and yet indulges numerous of your like most immature and childish tastes.
I didn't want to clarify. When I smelled it and I put my head away, I didn't put it away out of horror. It was just because the almond is very powerful right out of the bottle.
And a boozy scent.
Oh dear.
A boozy scent tends to really give you those little boozles over your head, like in the comic strip.
Right to the head.
Right. It really, really feels like you're inhaling like a vapor.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, I have to step back a moment.
Yeah, you kind of feel like you're prepared to like see stars.
Oh, this is so good.
It's really a beauty. And in the bottle, the sweet almond, spiced rum, brown sugar is just like really all right there. As for the rest of it, there are the kind of notes that would likely either fold into those or be dominated by them in the bottle. So I'm just going to put some on the skin straight off.
Oh.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
There's a lot going on.
Immediately on the skin, I get the dates, which is kind of a scent I never would have thought about if it wasn't for Bee Pal. But some of my early Bee Pal purchases, I think from the Lupercalia collections, included like date. Or maybe it was like, I think also Gomorrah was one that I really loved originally. And I think that has a date. I could be wrong. Maybe it's fig. Maybe it's both.
This is intense.
Yes, it is.
I think a lot of it is the almond and the rum for me is like, that's very intense.
Large cat, large scent. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Like she really did like a kind of a, it says a deep rumbling purr is like the introduction.
Oh, I am smelling the dates and the honey and the like.
Mm-hmm. This is a
Oh,
scent that kind
wow.
of carves out a lot of space and then fills the space with a lot of different things. Like a nice, like strong, well-rounded scent that is both like sweet and light, and
I just
then
got
like
to the vanilla musk. That's nice. Oh, wow.
a lot of interesting striations and overlaps. Like I like a scent like this, and Beepel does a lot of them, is kind of like a puzzle box because you can go hunting around and like try to figure out like how everything is kind of wired together.
Yes.
Like there's honey and scorched marshmallow, two very sticky sweet things that smell different. With the initial blast and even early on the skin, it's like, how do you even begin to disentangle them? And you actually kind of have to sit and breathe and think about it, which is why this is such, I think, an interesting, relaxing activity for a lot of people. And the specificity, I think, is really satisfying because some people will really want that marshmallow and maybe it's not here in the quantity that you're personally hoping for. But, like, what, are you mad about it? It is deepening and darkening a little bit, and I want to credit that to the myrrh and the musk. Maybe a little bit because of the scorch on the marshmallow.
Yeah. It's kind of like sticky.
It's way less almondy than it was in the bottle.
Yes.
As usual.
The almond, you know, just distributes once you get on the skin, and which is really nice.
It's turning quite musky on me, I will say. Which again, it's called the large cat. So ultimately, I've reached the final boss of the large cat fragrance, and unsurprisingly, it is a large cat. And then all of these other little things are like kind of settling around it, like ornamentally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it's going for you.
Ornamental.
Oh, it's very ornamental. I'm getting something kind of toasty that I would read as almost like a coffee.
Right. I mean, there's enough like what we got scorched and toasted.
I know,
So there's
I know.
something. Yeah, there's like a singed stickiness to it.
Right.
That's what I'm getting.
And it's definitely
dark,
those settling down into like a
darker.
toasty, sweet, ambery musk for me. And again, less of the pure gourmand that it seems like it might have. It's very hard as someone who helps write a bunch of these descriptions and as someone who doesn't blend the perfumes, creating a description that will help people understand what they're smelling initially and then later might not be possible without really overloading with information that A, wouldn't be applicable to everyone, and B, is just going to exhaust and overwhelm people immediately. Like sometimes you just got to get in there. So, ooh, oh, yeah, it is. It's funny. It's just getting more and more toasty on me.
Rumbly.
It's like the toasty almonds. It's not like that original one was like that almond, that, you know, essence.
It's like the almonds. I'm getting that like the image of those, you know, those like the candied dates.
Oh, I know those candy dates.
That's what I'm thinking of, with some almonds.
Someone's asking if this collection could possibly be a permanent one. It is technically limited edition, but I think it's been, as far as I know, there are no plans to phase it out. It's just one of those wonderful things that we just know we should hold on to. So I will reassure you right now and say that there's not like any plan to put a cap on it as far as I can tell. And if anything, I think we're likely to expand it. And then later, if that turns out to not be true, it'll, you know, I'm sorry you were misled by something you heard from a crazy person on the internet, but I'm sure that's not the only time that will happen even today. So let's move on to Old Woman with Cat. So this ended up being like quite a scent of the moment because we released these almost immediately before the, like, you know, cat ladies incident from earlier in the campaign season. And we had Old Woman with Cat just right there. And it's funny because, again, I don't know if I can really show her on the screen, But you know, you're dealing with a proper kitchen crone. Um, and there's what I think is beautiful and special about this painting is you've got this like kitchen crone and the cat is on her shoulder and like nuzzling her lovingly. And the cat's attention is on the crone. The crone is making like challenging eye contact with the viewer.
What the fuck is that?
I think she's spinning.
Okay, it just looks like it's floating. I don't.
Yeah, because it's like the handle of the spinner is going under her arm, and it's dark.
Okay.
So she's with one arm in the crook of an arm spinning.
I'll believe you.
Yeah.
I needed insight.
So the scent is, and we released these before the weenies, so that was a really nice early gift to the fall. Sweet roasted pumpkin rind, raw wool accord, polished oak, baked bread, cocoa absolute, and kitchen herbs. So I love how this comes up occasionally. There'll be like a note like kitchen herbs, which could be anything. And we'll
The whole damn
have to,
spice
we'll have
rack.
to see. Right.
21
You know,
seasoning salute.
just put some kitchen herbs in it. It's fine. It actually tracks with like, you know, so an experienced cook in the kitchen and you're like, what is that? What did you put in there? Oh, just herbs.
Whoa. Okay.
I know. It's scrumptious.
Whoa.
Beautiful, lovely, toasted pumpkin scent. And it's got the bread scent coming up underneath it to really give it like a perfect gourmand lift.
Oh my god.
Just a hint of the cocoa. So you've got like a kind of a lovely, in the bottle at least, faintly chocolatey pumpkin bread gourmand.
That is exactly what that smells like.
With the amazing atmospheric complexity of the wool, which is not a gourmand, but is at least a comforting scent. And then the oak and the herbs that really kind of put you in a place. So it really has a sense of like, I'm in somebody else's world. And it's like a world where I'm going to get fed. So doesn't get much better than that.
Or at least get like a woolen thingy.
A woolen thingy.
I don't know what she's making on the loom.
Oh, the spinning. Yeah.
But she's doing something and it might be for you.
Yeah. You will benefit. You will benefit from whatever the kitchen crone is working on if you just hang around long enough and maybe even offer to help a little bit, and you're going to like be warm and eat well. And it's just so lovely. Can I have more? I would like to put on some more, please.
Very bready. Pumpkin bread.
It communicates like a level of like warmth and care, which is like wonderful combination of like the bread and wool, which when you think about it could just smell disgusting.
It could. And yet it is very, like, I feel wrapped in a blanket.
They
with, like, a slice of bread.
Separate enough ideas to sell a fantasy.
I have been taken in from the cold by this crone who is knitting me something, looming me something.
The cat knows.
Staring at me.
The cat like looks at you and is like, "This is a good place."
I'm sitting on the opposite end of the kitchen, and I have pumpkin bread, and I'm just staring at them, and they're staring back. I'm not scared.
It's like warm and toasty without the scorch that was in the other one. It's just everything, nothing is taken to an extreme degree as a scent. And I think that is actually part of what makes, I mean, people are comforted by all kinds of things, including some very weird things. But what makes, I think, a really, truly cozy, comforting scent is that nothing in particular is taken to extreme. It's just like a lovely balance of things. So it just becomes kind of like a rotating wheel, a lazy river of things that you take turns noticing.
Like a wheel that might be on a loom.
I love that it's not chocolatey. There's just like a kind of a dark richness that is like a grace note that's just like kissed by the cocoa absolute.
Yeah, it's not chocolatey, but it is blended in the bread.
Does it have sediment in it? I'm curious to see. The ones with cocoa absolute sometimes do. If you does look like it does, doesn't it?
There's something at the bottom.
Just like a little tiny layer. Maybe a slight layer of cocoa murk. happening in there.
Cocoa myrrh.
Cocoa myrrh. This, if this didn't find a home in the Halloween like fall collection, it would have fit perfectly at home as like a Yule, just because of like the image it conjures of the hearth and kindred spirits and creature comforts. So
I don't know what kitchen herbs are in here, but it does smell
there's just,
kitchen herbaceous.
there's like it's like a little bit of a dry, spicy something or other.
Yeah, the suggestion of a spice rack or open jars.
Maybe I'm gonna stick my neck out ever so slightly and say that it could be like a hint of like bay leaf. But what's funny is we have a scent from Halloweenies gone by. We should have done it again this year. The Hag, which is like a really like brown, sweet, witchy kitcheny scent that is much more intimidating and goopy and mysterious. It doesn't have, this is like so much more reassuring. Either way, this woman or that woman is probably going to be like, you know, witchcraft trialed, but like they'll come for you no matter what.
Oh, but she'll smile as it's all happening.
Oh, it's
like,
really
"I'll be
interesting.
back."
I mean, I just love that, you know, the old woman with cat, like she's like pictured as a kind of a marginal figure, you know, like she's not like a beautiful painting subject, but she is in a way in this painting made beautiful by the cat's affection. Like the cat is a gateway, not like some of these paintings are about like gateways into like loving animals, but I love that this one is the animal is a gateway to understanding and loving the human subject. And I just think that's brilliant, and I'm glad that Beth chose it. So those are the 4 out of 5 new ones that we have added. And then there's just like so much else. Like, are there any of these that you know personally that you love and you want to smell, or should we just like pick up some?
Admittedly, I have not explored these too deeply. I've smelled them kind of in passing.
Well, then
Some of them I've been like, oh, I think I would like that one, and I'm like, well, I do.
One that we should definitely smell then, if to help introduce people to the collection, is the By Day She Made Herself Into a Cat, which is like
that's one that
the scariest one.
Yeah.
It's the scariest painting that we picked, and it's kind of, I think, in a lot of the advertising because it's just so recognizable. The Arthur Rackham painting. Again, I don't even know if it's worth me showing on the screen, but you've got this like hulking, like backlit cat with visible underbite, and it says, "A feral eye shine of amber gleaming through a pool of ink black musk." All of these, right? I mean, yes, right. So. Oh, but I figured this would be nice because we've been smelling some of these notes, but the attitude is going to be completely different. So why not switch it up attitude-wise? If I could make myself into a cat, today would be the day that I would do it by. This is like a dark, hairy nightmare scent compared to like where we've been before. Sweet, seductive. It's got like a gnarly quality. There is an air of menace.
Oh, so if you're familiar with our GC scent Haunted, which is a black musk and amber scent, this smells completely different.
Right. You
different.
You think you know what someone can do with amber and black musk because you've smelled, oh, I don't know, 11 scents they've done with it, and then there's always going to be some new variant.
I would say that this is a different amber for sure, but
This reminds me, I mean, it's a dark musk, first of all. And the sweetness of the black musk really does something interesting combined with the amber. It reminds me of like, I want to say like the fossilized amber. But I could be wrong.
It's kind of gummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's seductive, but it's definitely like foreboding.
Yes.
The amber, though, I have to say, in the bottle, the musk was really intense to my nose. And in the bottle, the amber is truly like warming up and asserting itself and making things uh, a little more cozy, actually. It's definitely sweeter on the skin than it was in the bottle.
Yes.
But it has that nice edge. And there is like something almost foresty about it. It's definitely just like in the painting, like it's an outdoor scene. One of the amber in it is definitely one of the ambers in the Woman's Facing the Setting Sun or whatever scent that we've done not too long ago. It's that amber where the joy does not manage to reach the heart, you know, like it's warm but not all the way to the core. And then that black musk is there to kind of like lurk in the core of the scent and fill it with something
Right. Like you said, it's
else.
seductive, but there's like it's like, oh, come here. Nope, that's
No,
fine.
Yeah.
That's close enough.
It's like some cats, like where they will accept you and they will live among you, but you're never going to become like their core companion.
They will come to you when they want to be pet, but if you're like, oh, hi, they're like, I don't think so.
They'll eat the food.
Yeah.
Eventually, but they might not even consent to being petted. I lived with a cat that was like a puncher like that, where it was like, even if it seems like it's tolerating you and you go in for the pet, and then it would like punch you with one paw.
That's scary.
It was scary. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tolerate that from a person. So, but I was just like, I was subleasing, so it wasn't an issue in my life for very long.
You were subleasing from the cat?
From the cat. I mean, it did feel that way at times. Was there something else that you had mentioned? I think someone said
cat from behind.
Cat scene from behind. I have cat scene from behind. This is like a lovely. Is this Japanese art? I believe it is. And I'm only just showing like little suggestive. Oh, you can see the reflection is all my fingerprints on my touch screen. Truly, just like a beautiful ink brush painting. And it's great because it's like you can't see any of the eyes. You don't know what there's no emotion attached to it, except for the fact that it's pointed away.
I'm a little scared if it turns around. Like,
what's
it's going to be like,
hey. I think it says, a decidedly warm shoulder, toasted sandalwood, tonka bean, rice milk, and patchouli. So overlap with what we've seen, but like something totally different. Cat scene from behind. All the ones we're smelling I should put here so I can do the caps. So it's amazing to me how forward in the bottle the rice milk is.
Okay, that's what I'm smelling.
There's like a lightness and a milkiness.
Yeah, that is what I'm smelling.
There's definitely something underneath. But it's like the rice milk wants to assert itself. Or maybe that's what is just so different from the stuff that we've been smelling, that's what comes forward. So, mental note, someone who is live with us right now is asking about the cat at the table. So we'll check out that one next if we can find it. Okay, I'm going to put it on. And then maybe after that we'll wrap up because it'll be close to an hour. For something with sandalwood and patchouli, I want a little more, I think. I was expecting it to put up a little more of a fight.
Well, maybe give it a minute.
I know, but I mean,
I feel like it's gearing up.
I feel like what we're getting here.
I was like, well, this is sort of tame, and then I'm like, no, that patchouli is kind of going.
It's only gonna stay right here. I really think we're dealing with Totoro vibes because Totoro has the giant claws, but the children are never in danger, you know? And it has that kind of like wonderful gray-brown, fuzzy, sweet.
Totoro is a very good comparison.
It's misty. It's kind of misty, and I think it's just because of the rice milk gives it a bit of a humidity that kind of counters the dryness of the toasted sandalwood. So it's got kind of just like
the very dry, earthy incense notes of The sandalwood and the patchouli, and then you got that tonka bean scratch. Rice milk blanket.
I know, the tonka's like a buffer between the floaty rice milk top and then the
Yes.
dark patchouli bottom.
Yeah.
And again, it never
Wow.
really tilts all the way into gourmand. It's just kind of like being in a space where something delicious is being prepared or has been eaten. So that's like a kind of a more environmental, atmospheric
Yes.
effect.
Yeah.
And as the rice milk steadily dissipates, like there is more, the patchouli is like, I won't even say it asserts itself so much as it is revealed, but it is comfortable staying where it's at. It's not like developing, it doesn't have a plan. It's not scheming to take over your house. Yeah, there's like a deep woodiness to it.
Yeah.
That's really it. More than like the really cantankerous patchouli or the really scratchy kind. It's just a kind of like a dense, dark woodiness. Which I mean, the sandalwood, you know, so they're like kind of, I think, working together. on
Weirdly,
that,
not even
so.
just Totoro, but the house in My Neighbor Totoro. I feel like it
Yes.
smells like the house too. Like
Oh,
I'm really
absolutely.
I'm just fully in there.
I got to show that to my nephew for the first time this year, who right before he turned 8, and it was great because he kept waiting for something scary to happen, and there were a couple of times where he's like, "Ah!" But it really kind of like the movie was just like riding that edge the whole way, and the delight of it completely worked on him, except for he is an only child who doesn't like younger children generally, and the small child character grated on him so bad, and it was so funny because he just continually said disparaging things about her the entire movie, and I thought it was so funny. So there was a part where the older child would do something and then the smaller child would copy her, and he just like looks at me and sneers, "Coattails." Like the smaller child is riding, I don't know where he picked this up.
I know. I'm
The
like, where did you learn?
smaller child is riding the
I was
older
not saying
child's coattails.
at that age.
I know, it was so fucking funny. Whatever, one day he'll understand. So yeah, we'll close with cat at the table, and then maybe we can dip back into these on another day when we have no idea what to do. We have other Halloween stuff still to prepare to live streams for, but we are missing a few, and I didn't want to get back into Carmilla or even the Dead Leaves without like a more complete set. So those are on their way. And also today, if you just didn't have the wherewithal to watch anyone do anything, then you didn't miss that much. So I went past it tonight. Cat at the table. This one is easy enough to show on the screen because the cat
Is at the table.
is right there at the table. There's a pin cushion, there's a measuring tape. The cat looks like, it's funny because the
Is that cat gonna be like,
it's not malice.
knock
It's
the chef
just like
over?
that moment where you can tell the cat has got like the zoomies or a crazy idea.
Right, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna knock that
Like
shit over.
something is gonna happen. It's really cute. It says, place your bets. Which object will hit the floor first? And then the scent is gray amber, roasted white tea, Indian sandalwood, and vanilla oud.
Okay. Those
All
are
right.
some combinations.
I'll go there.
Roasted white tea.
Ugh.
Did not know you could do that.
You absolutely can.
Oh, whoa. Okay, I'm smelling the tea.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm getting like a face full of all of these things. Definitely
that amber.
the roastiness of the tea. The vanilla oud. And it's really, again, distinguishing a gray amber and a vanilla oud from each other really just takes to sit and think about, to like disentangle. People are leaving us lovely comments while we do this, and I am reading them with one eye while like focusing on the other. So thank you.
And I can't read them because I don't have my glasses on.
Well,
so.
I saw
I'm
them,
just
and
going-
even if I don't read them out loud and attribute
I'm
them,
sure it's nice.
there are just you are appreciated.
I'm sure.
I feel appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, in the bottle, the roasted white tea,
Oh my god, it's
supported
so good.
with the incense, the Indian sandalwood, is dominant. It really almost strikes me as like a dead leaves fragrance. Almost.
I'm not getting that.
Well, that's why it's important that there's two
Actually,
of us.
no, I get what you mean with that. I smelled it again and then I clarified. Nope.
Well, just I don't require validation on that level, but I am always grateful to receive it.
I know what you mean and I don't know why.
It's because it's like it's something about the dryness and the like the roasted tea leaves. And then the gray amber sounds like something that would be in a dead leaves fragrance. So more on those soon. Let me just get a little bit more because at this point I am a bit nose blind myself from all of the nose looking, and now my nose eyes don't want to see anything.
Nose eyes.
It's funny because this is so different than the other ones that it's almost going slightly aquatic. Again, I'm just going to say it's the gray amber mixed with the tea, and there's something about it that is so kind of clean and spare, like the background of the
no, I get that. There's like a sparkle.
And the
almost.
and the oud also.
Yes. And
So
I think that kind of like weirdly does like an aquatic shimmer.
it's got like an
I don't know
airy
how that works.
mistiness to it.
I'm gonna sneeze.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
not.
the dryness of it really does give it almost like a peppery quality.
Yes. Is that it?
I mean, I'm just describing what I'm
No,
smelling.
but that makes sense. And the peppery quality is what's making me want to sneeze.
It's nice though because the amber is grounding.
Oh, it's so good.
It really, I mean, for me, this is truly a color palette and composition transliteration because you've got this like undefined white gray background that very closely matches the tones of the table, and all of the like little fidgety things on the table are also kind of just like small, dry, Spartan little things. And then there's just enough of like a fuzziness in this because of like the vanilla oud and the amber that the cat is present. Just kind of hovering in the center. But this painting is mostly about the background and the table. And so the scent kind of is too, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. This sort of like gray-white haze.
It's clean, it's dry. It smells like a place, I mean, it's funny because these are sewing implements. It smells like a place where some fastidious pastime takes place. You can't have like a lot of mess or too much coziness when you're trying to get work done, which is probably why we never get any work done. And the tea, I love that the continuity of the white tea though, because
the tea is really surprising. It really,
it stays
very
relatively
different from
forward
what other
throughout.
ones we've smelled.
Yeah.
And it adds like a freshness.
Smell
to
this
it that,
and then
like-
smell the old woman with the old woman with the cat. Do you remember where it is?
I can't remember
You
where I
wanna
put
smell it
her
on me?
because I kind of mixed things up this time. Normally I have a very strict routine where I do this arm and then I do this arm. If you've watched, I kept hopping back and forth. I don't know why, mixing it up. Voter Day stress.
Yeah. It's funny because one is
So.
warm and toasty, and then the other is like a little more spare. But like, I could totally see wearing one of these scents on one arm and then one on the other, and just kind of going back and forth.
Like
But
things
there's,
are happening in both of these rooms.
like clean, dry, warm, but like a different purpose, a different aesthetic, and not alike, but similar
Complementary.
in affect,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah. So that's amazing.
Not alike, but not alike.
I mean, alike enough to belong in a perfume series together. Like
Right.
all of these cats, like I mean, many, many different expressions of feline excellence. But it's like music where you're playing a lot of the same notes and chords. But the tea is something that I didn't really know I needed, and there's something kind of like slightly astringent about it. That like, you know how it is comforting to drink tea, but even though the tea is bitter,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it doesn't necessarily like taste good the way that like a piece of pumpkin bread with chocolate tastes good. But also you can have both together. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like if I was having my pumpkin bread and then someone was like, "Would you like some white tea?" Also, I'd be like, "You know what? That would be just
I
lovely.
am thirsty.
Thank you so much." Yeah. So yeah, it's nice to find just like some thematic
Tea and bread
overlap. I know. Well,
which will bring us back to dough.
it does. It do. Dough. Okay, well, we have talked for an hour and 37 seconds about a total of like, I don't know, 8 or 9 fragrances, which seems to be our usual pace these days. And that is what we're capable of today. I can't even like bring it home. Maybe Kelly, my sister, should call again and just freeze us. It'd be great to be kicked off of live by circumstance, but unfortunately, it is our job to try to elegantly close things off and just give you a little bit of aftercare. It's going to be a long day.
It's going to be a long day.
I feel comfortable even addressing people in future days, weeks, months, years for, who are watching this. I feel comfortable saying it is going to be a long day. The day is long. But we have all of these different tools at our disposal in terms of withstanding it, or maybe even enjoying it. And even in a bad day, it's possible to enjoy something or to take a moment where you're not like actively suffering. And there's just nothing wrong with not suffering if you can manage it. So I think that always just should exist as a possibility. Pull back and try to suffer a little less if possible with whatever you have handy. And you know, we'll just see what tomorrow brings, and the day after, and then January. My God. So just even imagining how many live streams we're probably going to try to film between now and January 6th is just like, it's going to be a lot. Galen's gone. Galen mentally pressed the end live stream video like 90 seconds ago. So I'm just going to follow up and formally take care of that for us. But thank you for sitting with us. If you're watching this on a delay, you may know more than we do, but hopefully you have something nice to smell somewhere you can plunge your face into. And let us know if you've had plenty of time to have some of these scents. So I'm definitely curious to hear what folks have and what they've been smelling and so forth. So, and also thank you to the reviewers who post your little written reviews in the bpal.org web forum, which I try to mention a lot in hopes that folks will go write stuff there in a more lasting and searchable and findable way, because your fellow perfume people who are watching us to hear what we think also do want to know what other people think, because we're just too knuckleheads.
If you're curious about something, it is the place to go.
Yeah. And if you like a small, attainable writing project with a clear beginning and end, writing even like 2 or 3 sentences about your impression of a scent in an area where it's like not a contest to do well and no one can tell you you're wrong because you have your own skin and your own batch of perfume to work with, it's great. And there's no
your opinion.
There's no back talk where someone asks you to like expound further upon what you wrote. It's just done.
What do you mean you didn't get the black patchouli?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Believe me when I say there are many times reading these reviews
like
when I wish I could talk back to them or comment and be like, actually, or did you stop to think that? No. It just doesn't work that way. The forum is just a place where people post their own personal impressions. And
it's about good times.
Or it could be about a bad time, but at least you had the time
to write it out.
Mm-hmm. Shall we go away now?
Okay.
Okay, see you soon, folks.
Bye.
Maybe tomorrow, who knows? Who knows what we'll do. Bye. Pet your kitties for us.